This episode of the Red Bull Rant is brought to you by the fine patrons that support us through patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. You can support us for the low price of $1 a month, and you can get exclusive content, including a monthly wrap-up for the New York Red Bulls. We want to send a special shout-out to our patrons who support us at $5 a month. That is our producer-level reward. Thank you to Jeremiah Dempster and William Martin. Now, on to the show. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. If you aren't expecting adult language, why even bother listening? Welcome, my friends, to the show Never Ends. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. I'm your host, Jason Iapicco.
I'm Pat McDonald.
I'm Truman. This is episode 281, Purple Rainmaker.
Ooh.
And I mean, Jay, come on now.
I saw him this weekend. If I didn't like this. Although, actually, it was Capitol Hills where he's from, right? Because he wrestled at MCW. That's why I was confused. I guess there's no indie promotions in DC.
I'm sure there's. Well, maybe not.
I mean, he went to Baltimore to wrestle. So
yeah.
Anyway, so no Red Bulls game to recap. We are going to talk United States. Want to mention real quick, New York City lost. Wait, no, they drew over the weekend, right? Or they lose? I forget. We talked about it on the Patreon show.
They drew to. Do you mean the DC game?
Yeah, it was the 1-1 draw to DC. That's what it was.
Yes, correct.
So and we'll talk about it more later, but they did not help themselves out.
Nope.
So
and DC didn't help themselves out, so it's kind of a fun result.
Yep. That was like perfect for us because as much as we had to root for DC against, I think it was Atlanta, like now we got to not worry about anything.
Yeah.
All right. United States, though, had two games. First, they had a 2-0 loss to Brazil because who saw that coming? A 1-0 win versus Mexico with two key notes for Red Bulls fans. First is Tyler Adams scored the only goal in the game.
Sure did.
That was his first international goal, too, right?
Yes, it was.
And second, Matt Miazga talking some shit about height.
Was he even talking or just showing?
That's true. Well, that's true. He was showing.
Yeah, he's just revealing how tall he was.
And by the way, I have a recording of what Twitter was doing at the time that happened.
Pretty much.
So, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch most of these games. One, because honestly, I didn't care about Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about the Mexico game. So,
forgot. So you definitely were not on Twitter.
No, I was on Twitter. That's how I found out about the Miazga thing.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? I was working. I think I was working out and doing something else that day, so I didn't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was taking care of myself instead of sitting on my couch watching the United States men's team.
Taking care of oneself, overrated.
As I'm sitting here doing a podcast, drinking a beer. So
there you go.
Hey, I did I'm on a 30-day ab workout app, and I got 3 days done so far. So I call that a win.
That.
All right. So anybody have any thoughts about the United States stuff?
I mean, hey, look, it was nice to see Tyler get his open his account for the U.S. national team. I guess if anything, if you're disappointed with the Brazil result, and if you read up on this game, you probably read this. But I mean, the last time the U.S. played Brazil, it was with Jurgen Klinsmann at the helm. It was with a full complement of veterans, and they lost 4-1. They got blown out, and it was 4-0 before they got their last desperation goal by Danny Williams. I mean, with a bunch of kids against, again, world-class Brazilian players, and lost 2-0. And if you watch the game, one of those goals came on a penalty kick, which was soft. It was absolutely soft. Probably not a penalty.
Yeah.
So you can certainly could make the argument the U.S. lost 1-0. Again, not run off the field, and again with our kids really on the field. And as for Mexico, I mean, that it was not the most exciting game. Dave Sarachin played a starting lineup that featured 4 central midfielders across the second line. So that certainly doesn't leave a lot to be excited about. But Dave Sarachin certainly will not be the coach forever. Hopefully, sooner than later, he will be replaced. And but you got the win. You got to see Tyler Adams score, and you got to see Matt Miazga do some dynamite shit talk, and overall good couple of games. It'll be interesting to see what they do in October, when hopefully they will have a head coach in place.
The only positive about the Brazil game is that Firmino scored. So for me, big thumbs up. As for the Miazga thing, if you thought that what he did was him being racist, you're a fucking idiot, because that was going around Twitter. People saying he was being racist because he was calling a Mexican player short.
Good old outrage culture.
I wish I was kidding. Yeah. Now,
what?
This is coming from the fan base who had Rafa Marquez as their fucking captain, the man who stepping on opponents, shins when they were on the ground.
That's still Champ Puto?
Exactly right.
Gosh, yeah,
exactly right. So I don't want to hear it from you idiots who even think about that. It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. It's really dumb. These teams have earned the right to trash talk each other, considering how much they dislike each other.
Absolutely.
And that is just fun trash talk. That's all it is.
And for whatever it's worth, Miazga didn't even start it.
Right.
Yeah. From what I saw, whatever his name was trying to get in his face. So he's just like, okay, yeah, see how short you are?
Yeah. I mean, it's just mind-numbing that was a thought going around. This guy that was tweeting, that I guess works for ESPN, was saying stuff like that. What a fool.
Part of your four parts of that problem are the letters that he works for. So
yeah, I mean, so stupid. But aside from that, I like the fact that it was Miazga, and the goal was scored by our boy. So it was a good Red Bull night.
Absolutely.
So I'll take that. Again, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to the games. Both of them, I was just kind of like checking back and forth, because you guys know me, I'm not big into friendlies, and I hate playing friendlies against Mexico.
Yeah.
And just the reasoning is I don't like people hyping these games up when they mean absolutely nothing. I don't want to hear about the records. I don't care. And I like keeping our team a little secret from Mexico, our biggest rival, when we have to play them in actual games that matter.
Like the CONCACAF Nations League.
Right. Like keep it a secret, just a little bit. That's all. I mean, obviously players can watch film and all that nonsense, but especially with new players developing, why run our kids out there against these guys? I don't know. I know it's a cash grab. I know it's probably an easier team to book because they don't have to travel far, to become players, and vice versa. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't mind playing Brazil. That's a straight up cash grab. There's no ifs or buts about it. Whatever. Again, it was getting the kids out there to play. And Pat, like you said, did not play terribly against them. Did not get embarrassed on the field. I think you're right. I think that penalty was a very chintzy call. So, I mean, they didn't really control a lot of play, but they had a little bit of chances here and there. That's a decent showing for what? Most of these kids are like 23 and under.
Yeah,
I can't complain.
I will say the only person I think in U.S. soccer who got embarrassed is whoever came up with ticket prices for that game, and the 35,000 people that filled MetLife Stadium.
Yep. Again,
once again, yeah, maybe don't charge $80 a ticket for your cheapest ticket when your team didn't make the World Cup.
Right.
The first game after the World Cup.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Even if Brazil is your opponent.
Yep.
So I think the Mexico game was kind of a, what's the right way to phrase it? Victim of circumstances, because the UEFA, their version of their Nations League, because I think CONCACAF just kind of copied it. The UEFA Nations League started this break, so I feel like almost all the UEFA teams were kind of blocked up. So I mean, unless you get another South American team,
can we just play Canada again?
I mean, I guess. But Canada's not getting you money. That's the problem.
Can I play against Canada at Red Bull Arena?
Canada ain't getting you prepared for big squads either.
Pat would have been there in a heartbeat.
Canada, USA?
At Red Bull Arena.
Yeah, sure, if it wasn't $80.
So before we get off the international talk, I just because it is going to be a thing that actually started for other teams, this CONCACAF Nations League, which I honestly didn't realize was actually happening until I saw somebody on Twitter post it. I don't know I'm a fan of this. I mean, I understand the rationale. It helps everybody else in CONCACAF, but I feel like it hurts like the U.S., Mexico, and I mean, not that there's like Panama, like the stronger teams.
It does not help the teams that have a chance at reaching the World Cup. It spreads the wealth to all the other nations. I mean, it's one of those things that it's why Mexico, U.S., maybe even Costa Rica, whatever, need to take a long, hard look at joining CONMEBOL.
Which, as an aside, because it's also going on with UEFA, I feel like this Nation League stuff that's going on, FIFA at some point has to adjust their ranking system because teams like Mexico and the U.S. will get punished for playing in CONCACAF in these forced matches where teams like England, Germany will get benefits of playing in the forced league because the coefficient of the federation plays
that's the whole reason. It's protectionist. UEFA has gotten upset with South American teams doing well, and they're claiming it's because South American teams are going to test their mettle, these friendlies, against European squads. And so that's really what it is. They're just trying to protect themselves. I think it's crack shit. I think it's something that'll probably backfire in the long run. Like if anything, it'll just benefit. It won't benefit us, but it will benefit South American teams. That's really all it is.
And I guess Asian teams to an extent too.
I mean, what soccer powerhouses in Asia? I mean, sure, South Korea. And
I was going to say Australia, but I guess they're not. Oh no, yeah, they're in Australia. Australia's part of the Europe.
Yeah, but whatever they call it. I mean, I think they made the round of 16 once. I wouldn't say there's really a power in.
No, there really isn't.
Asia, but just occasionally somebody who is competitive.
So I'm still wrapping my head about Pat saying that the U.S. should join CONMEBOL. Listen, coming from the man who's like me, doesn't like the idea of Rutgers being in the Big Ten.
Come on, but I mean, they get what 5, 6 FIFA bids, and once you get to that, I mean, after your Argentinas and your Brazils, I mean, it's U.S. isn't that far off from the rest.
I mean, here's the difference, right? We're not relying on recruiting. If we move, Rutgers has to rely on.
Yeah, that's the other thing,
Maybe we improve recruiting that way.
I mean, think about it, right? If you can tell a kid that's like 10, 11 years old, hey, you stick with us because we're moving to CONMEBOL, you get to start playing Argentina, Brazil, all these teams on a regular basis. Maybe that does become a selling point for the youth development.
And the fact of the matter is, you're not going to get better playing in a Nations League against Guatemala and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
I don't know. They're a pretty hardcore team.
You don't want to play on shitty cricket pitches and come on, Pat.
Dirt fields.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's like if it's one of those things. If you want to get better, you got to play. It's what we always say. Why we want players to go to Europe is to get better. You have to play better, and if that's what it's going to take. I mean, if the U.S. is going to be preparing for World Cups with, again, Barbados and Montserrat, we should never really expect them to take the next step.
No, I think the U.S. just got so comfortable just feeling they're going to automatically qualify for every World Cup because it was just so easy to, and then they got a little bit of a wake-up call this year.
Yeah. Just wait another 20 years. We'll have another American Fiasco. I just finished that show, so I had to kind of throw it in there.
Yeah, good podcast. Actually, great podcast.
Yeah. So if you haven't listened to it, American Fiasco, I think it's like 10 regular episodes with like a few quote extras.
I think it's like a half hour each. So
yeah,
it's a real easy listen.
It's like 5 hours total.
Yeah.
With Roger Bennett, he talks about the 94 World Cup and then the lead up to the 98 World Cup and the disaster that was, with interviews with players and coaches and officials around U.S. soccer, and it's really interesting.
And he talks about how a kid from Liverpool could fall so in love with U.S. soccer because the relentless optimism of U.S. soccer fans.
I was going to say, hope that podcast is going to give us some money for pushing them, but you blew that.
Yeah, I blew it pretty bad. Trying to do a poor Roger Bennett impression.
Yeah.
He has a sense of humor. He'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
All the times Roger Bennett and...
this is the show.
Big fan.
Red Bull Rant. Big fans of Red Bull Rant, those two.
All right. Let's move on. So before we get to the predictions, not that anything happened, but I want to reset us because...
First of all, I feel like the Red Bulls haven't played in like fucking 4 months.
No, they really haven't. It's
killing me. It's killing me.
It's been a while. But before we actually talk about them, so first off, just to reset the standings, they are first in the East and the Shield races, 1 point ahead of Atlanta, who has a game in hand on the Red Bulls, and 6 points ahead of NYCFC, and the Red Bulls have a game in hand on them. Because why can't we have even schedules in September?
Right.
From our prediction contest, right now, Truman is in first with 25 points. I am in second with 18, and Pat is in third with 17. So we have room to make up, but not technically impossible. And I will take that right now, I guess. All right, so the Red Bulls are traveling to DC United for their second stadium at the shitty Audi Field. That game is 1 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. DC has a record of 9-11-7. However, they have an 8-2-1 home record with the Red Bulls, I think, being their only loss at Audi Field so far, if I'm not mistaken. That's good for 34 points, 7th in the East, so right outside the playoffs right now. In their last 5, 2 losses, which one of those was the Red Bulls winning at DC. A win, a draw, and a win. So, Truman, since you're first, you get to go first for the predictions. DC on the road for the last time this year. What do you think is going to happen with the Red Bulls?
All right. I think there's one big question going into this game. Pat, what's the one big question about this game?
Is there going to be a hurricane?
No.
No.
Jay, what's the big question?
I had heard there's a chance.
I'm guessing something about Wayne Rooney.
No. Does Tyler start this game?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
100%?
He better.
I'm very curious. After playing it, because he played in both of the friendlies, correct?
Yeah, he got Montreal off.
He's only traveling from Nashville.
And I'm pretty sure he's like 10 years old, and those kids have energy for days.
It's my only question. I'm just very curious as to if he starts this game, and I mean, I hope he does.
Well, I mean, hey, we can't say that about Kamar Lawrence. He started Jamaica's game on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Well, still, I don't know. It's the one thing because that kid's been playing a lot. Aside from that, DC did just play, so I like that. But I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. That's going to make everybody lose their minds because they're not going to win this game. I don't know. It's just DC's not playing terribly. Can you really beat a team 3 times in a row? I definitely think they can get a point out of it for sure. Do their little scoring woes continue? I'm thinking yes for now. But I think a point won't be a terrible result. Definitely not the one they want. But I mean, on the road, again, I'm going to take a road point.
I do think we could beat DC 3 times this year. And more importantly, somebody on the team scored their 100th MLS goal in Audi Field.
True.
And we're going back there. And he hasn't played in 2 weeks. So, he's probably he's probably raring to go at this point. I am going with a 1-0 victory. And I'm saying 1-0 because the Red Bulls apparently can't win a game by 2. But we're going to win.
Would that be their third straight 1-0 win? If we're talking just wins.
Just wins? No. There was a 2-1 win, I think.
No. Well, there was the 1-0 DC, 1-0 Houston, right? Those are both 1-0 wins, and this would be 3 in a row.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, this would.
I'm talking if they win 1-0, like you said, it would be their third victory in a row that the score was 1-0.
Correct. And coincidentally, 2 of them would have been over DC.
Yes.
Actually, it'd be their fourth.
This would be their fourth?
Because they beat Chicago 1-0.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Wow. 1-0. I think, I'm not in the boat of the Red Bulls are going to beat DC 3 times in a year. I think it's nice that they were able to do it twice, one time on the road. I actually do think they're going to lose. I think it's going to be a 1-0 loss. As Truman said, DC is playing rather well lately, especially since they've had these string of home games. We haven't been playing great. And it's, I mean, you guess you got to hope that this team, after getting shellacked up in Montreal, has been sitting and stewing and eager to get back on the field, or they could be sitting and obsessing over that loss for 2 weeks. So I'm hoping it's not the latter, but I can see a stumble here. I could see a late season swoon, which would be very upsetting. I just kind of feel like their lack of urgency is going to catch up with them on this away match.
Well, according to Instagram, what I've seen is that some of those players have been enjoying like sandy beaches, the U.S. Open. That's what I've been saying. So they've been clearly have been having a good time on this little break. So this week, I hope they serious stuff.
They should have been like walking around in burlap sacks and hitting themselves. Like they should have been stewing like us fans.
Running up the steps of the Coliseum 14 times.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, this starts the big test, right? This starts the test is were they tired for 5 games in 2 weeks or whatever it was? Mm-hmm. You're going to see what the team's made out of. Yeah, they had this long break. Old legs, getting rest. Mm-hmm. Week-long breaks between games. This is it. This is the time to go and prove who you are.
Yep, no more midweek games. And I think there's a national break in October. So they'll have, like you said, this is really going to be the place where they're going to win or lose the Shield, honestly.
Right, yeah, clearly. And
of course, clearly.
With a game against Atlanta that's going to be waiting in the wings.
But more importantly, this is the time where they solidify a top 2 spot.
Yep.
Shield, honestly, if they lose the Shield, I'm not going to be that upset because Atlanta is a good team.
Mm-hmm.
I would be more upset about, given the fact that they're 6 points up on NYC, losing that on second place.
I don't want to make predictions here, but I have a good feeling that they're still going to finish in second because of the way NYCFC is playing, which is not well. Yeah. And let's face it, the Red Bulls have been playing well. They have been getting results, except for the Montreal game. They haven't been the greatest of results, but they're winning games. They're getting points. It took a 88th minute goal from David Vietas to get a point against DC at home. Leading up to that was that loss against New England at home. I think they're just kind of I don't know. They're falling apart a little bit.
Well, when you rely on David Villa for the most part, it's kind of.
And this might be the last year they're relying on him. So.
Well, right now he's not extended, right? So.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. New York Red Bulls 2. When I wrote up the agenda, they were tied at halftime 2-2 against TFC 2. And according to Google, it is 3-3 in the 82nd minute.
Whoa, exciting.
Yeah. So whatever this happens today, next match is September 22nd, so next week, Saturday, against the Charlotte Independents. The big news, though, Sky Blue FC did not have a win this season.
Yeah.
Good on them.
They pulled out a 1-0 win against the Orlando Pride at home in the season finale. Carly Lloyd scored the game winner on her bobblehead day, and according to the highlights I watched today, she did the same exact thing in 2016 when Houston Dash had a bobblehead day for her. So I think the key takeaway here is Carly Lloyd needs more bobblehead days.
Every home game. They just got to go every home game.
They just Sky Blue or wherever she is next year, just needs to, whenever on the road, set up a pop-up tent for Carly Lloyd bobblehead day.
Yeah.
Take it on the road if you have to.
Yeah, and again, serious, what an awesome way to end the season for them. I mean, those girls certainly deserve it. The Riveters came out. The hockey team came out and hung out with Cloud9 and watched the game with them, which is pretty cool. And I think they brought the I don't know the name of the trophy that you win in that league, but they brought the trophy with them. So that was cool. So they definitely had they had good mojo going into that game.
Yeah, it was good to, I'm happy for the fans that have been so loyal to this team, that they at least got to see one win on the season, avoid a winless season. And I guess, I don't know what the correct term would be. I guess I cheer them on the protests that I see being announced on Twitter by many of them.
You support the players, not the front office.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way of saying it.
Yeah. Many seem to be ready to cancel their tickets. And hey, look, rightfully so. The front office has done a well-documented awful job this season.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Time for Dumping Ground. I have one thing. Just because I think it was interesting. So, at RB Leipzig, Ralph Ragnick apparently, because I saw this today on Reddit, apparently if he wants to punish a player, for being late to practice or missing a meeting or something like that, he doesn't fine them. He has a punishment wheel that he spins. And there's different things like wear a tutu during, I think it's called Princess, but it's wear a tutu during practice, work in the team shop, work with the kit man, stuff like that. The idea being, of course, you're not taking money away, you're taking free time, which apparently is more, to players, it's more impactful to take that away than it is to take money away. And honestly, from the sounds of it, I think that it would build a better organization to have the players interact with everybody else. So I think it kind of serves a dual purpose.
Wheel of Doom.
Wheel of Doom. It sounds like a very German thing.
Right.
Severe punishment.
It's the Wheel of Doom, but it's all painted like princessy because why not?
If you're late to practice by 20 minutes, we will string you up from the rafters by your thumbs for an hour.
Oh, now you must drink Rockstar Energy drink for a whole week.
You can't drink Red Bull. That's the punishment. You can't drink Red Bull.
Right. No product for you.
All right.
I got nothing else for the dumping ground. I don't. Yeah. Again, what really happened? Not much.
Yeah. No.
Not much going on.
Nope. Not much at all.
That only leaves Truman's terrible team of the week.
And I have one. And ooh. Derek Etienne was directly involved.
Haiti?
Because Haiti beat a place I don't think really exists. St. Martin. Must be a pirate island. Beat them 13-0.
Damn.
So that's a whole lot of goal scoring.
Please tell me Derek Etienne got on the score sheet.
He did indeed.
Okay.
He did indeed. He came on as a sub, I believe, and then scored almost immediately or something. So yeah.
Because I would have been like, oh man, Derek still can't get on the score sheet.
Nope, he did.
All right.
And the highlight's up online somewhere. I know I saw the goal somewhere, so you can go find it.
It sound like Angel Fire?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where it is.
Streaming live on GeoCities.
So yeah, there you go. Fake place, you stink.
So that's it? Nothing else?
That's it.
I got nothing.
All right, let's wrap this one up. You can visit us at patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. $1 a month is all it needs to listen to exclusive content early, including our monthly wrap-ups. The one this month did not have a guest, but we did basically the whole second half of the show bullshitting because why not?
Bullshitting about sports. It's sports bullshit.
Well, it's sports bullshit.
You can email us, redbullrant@gmail.com. You can call us, 973-348-5329. Facebook.com/RedBullRant. On Twitter, @RedBullRant for the show, @Dr. Stooge for myself, @PMAC, DA2 for Pat, @The Truman for Truman. Subscribe to our show via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, almost anywhere you can find a podcast. Last words before we get out of here.
Oh my God! I felt like I haven't said this in 3 months. Oh, Red Bulls, win and beat the Scum.
Yeah, prove me wrong and win.
All right, so for Pat Truman and myself, this has been episode number 281 of the Red Bull Rant. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, go Red Bulls.
Goodbye.
Lace.